If you want to learn how to level up your game and beat better players, then there's one really important key element you have to understand, which is placement trumps power. Most players are thinking about how they can hit the ball harder and not thinking enough about how they can place the ball better. And I'm going to show you how to do that and why it's so important in 1 second. Hi, my name is Kevin Garlington and I'm a coach at TotalTennisDomination.org. And today I want to explain why power is so overrated compared to placement. And I think one of the big keys why most people think power is so important, is because when we watch the pros, you go out and you see them hitting the ball really hard, right? And you go, this must be the key. This is why they're so good. They can hit the ball effortlessly with a ton of pace. The thing you're not taking into consideration is that who they're hitting with. Other pros hit with each other all the time and they don't receive the ball as like this being a powerful hit shot. They're like, this is a normal everyday thing. But if you're a spectator watching, you can really get confused about like, hey, power's the key. I have to hit the ball harder. What you're not really focusing on is when you're watching them play, how carefully they place the ball and maneuver the ball around the court. And this is the key to beating better players. Actually, there's 3 things. 1 is consistency, 2 is placement, and then power. Most players are focusing on the power first. They're power hungry. And so what happens is when they play better players, the better players understand this and they just let them hit themselves out. How many times have you been in a match and you're playing a better player? What's really going on? They are more consistent generally and they place the ball better. It feels like you're running more, not because they're hitting the ball harder, because they're placing the ball in the right targets at the right time. And so that's so important. If you need to work on number 1, consistency, make sure you check out my video, 3 keys to consistency right here, and I'll show you exactly how to improve your consistency in matches. And placement's important because when you place the ball better, you control the amount of risk your opponent has to potentially take to attack you. Meaning that if I'm hitting the ball cross court and my opponent wants to attack me down the line, guess what? They have to take more risk. But if I'm hitting the ball carelessly in the middle of the court and I'm not paying attention to where the ball is going, well, they don't have the same amount of risk. So when you learn to place the ball better, you can control the amount of risk. Not only that, better players understand this, not about hitting the ball harder, it's about positioning your opponent in very vulnerable situations, meaning that I'm going to place the ball to their backhand if this is their weakness. I'm going to place the ball side to side and run them if the time calls for it. When I play lesser players, the thing that really catches my mind is how consistent they are and how well they place the ball, never how hard they hit. Generally, if I'm playing a player that's ranked below me and they hit the ball really hard early, I kind of chuckle inside and go, well, let's see if you can do that again. Let's say they hit a winner. Let's see if you can do that again. And they do it again. And more than likely, out of 3 times, they're going to miss one. I go, oh, gotcha. And I just keep balls in and let them miss. When I'm playing a better player that's ranked above me, guess what they're doing? They're not overpowering me. They're constantly moving me around the court, putting me in positions and situations that I don't want to be in because they place the ball really well. So if you want to start learning to beat better players, stop thinking in power and stop thinking in consistency and placement. So how do you place the ball? What is the mechanism that causes you to place the ball? Really, it's about timing your swing, meaning that you want to do your normal swing and think about the initiation when you start the swing. Meaning if I initiate my swing earlier, what's going to happen is I'm going to get to the contact earlier, which is going to take the ball more cross court. If I wait longer before I initiate, boom, the ball's going to go down line or potentially inside out. What you really want to do is start focusing on having good timing. This doesn't mean when you go out, try to speed up and think, oh, that's going to help me get earlier and then slow down if I'm going to be later. That's not the situation you want to put yourself into. You want to have the same type of swing timing over and over again and just work on, I'm going to start early enough so when I get to contact it'll be early, or I'm going to wait a little bit longer and be actually later to hit it down the line or inside out. Now, when I say later or late, there's this idea of like, I don't want to hit the ball behind me. And if you think about your swing, and this is, let's say, going directly in front of me, I can still be early going cross court or later without my arm being behind me. And that's so crucial to understand. It's just the timing of when you're making that contact. And that's so important. So now I want to take you through a couple drills so you can start training this, so you can start getting better. It's not just theory. You can go out to the court and take these things and practice and improve your placement so the next time in your match, you start placing the ball better. Now, one thing before we start talking about placement is where should we hit the ball, Kevin? Well, if you're wondering where I should hit the ball after you develop the placement, check out this video because it's going to show you exactly what to do with the ball you're receiving to make sure you're putting yourself in the best position so your opponent doesn't take advantage of you. If you enjoyed this content, you like this video, hit the like button and make sure you subscribe. And head over to TotalTennisDomination.org to get more great content tips just like these to make your tennis game better. So the very first thing I'm going to do is kind of set the base. So I'm standing right here. You can see the alley a little bit, and I'm going to take the ball straight ahead. So I'm going to time the ball straight ahead. So my contact's here. So what I want to do to start training myself to hit the ball cross court or down the line is simply swing earlier. So what I'm going to do here is swing earlier, and you can see how I'm going to get to the contact earlier. It is a little tricky when you drop feed because the ball is not really moving and it's in a static location. So you might have to back away a little bit so you make sure you give yourself room to swing early. So again, I'm going to swing earlier, and you can see how by swinging earlier, it actually takes the ball off the court, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is wait a little bit longer. And so what you're doing is going through the sequence of swinging and feeling and recognizing your timing to hit the location. So early, okay? And what's really happening is this. Because of my swing timing, when I make contact, the racket face is going to look in the direction. If I wanted to go more cross court and I start initiating earlier, the racket face is going to be here, causing the ball to go more cross court. If I wait longer, it's going to be here, causing the ball to go down the line or inside out. And so if you repeat this drill enough, you're going to get really good at it, and your placement's going to improve.